Hey Pisces, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. If you haven't already, please do click that subscribe button because it helps other people find my channel and it also makes me very happy. We are starting with our oracle deck here, Moonology and Work Your Light. And then we're going to get a little intuitive vibe here of where we might be going and what this reading might be about. And then we'll move on to the Tarot of Mystical Moments for a more traditional tarot spread. All right. Captain Jack is outside and jumped on the windowsill, looking inside, watching me shuffle, drawn like a moth to the flame to the energy of this table. All right, anything else for Pisces? Or, I mean, basically we just have a question mark for Pisces, a big question mark. That looks good. Which reminds me of A Room with a View, one of my favorite movies. All right, anything else? I'll draw one from a split here. Okay, we got all Moonology. All right. So here's your question, Pisces. What do you need to release? It's winter, it's rest, it's downtime. It's time to let go, finish letting go of those leaves, past time to finish letting go of those leaves and allowing rest to take over before the next cycle continues, before the next process continues. Let's see, where do I want to put those? Oh, and Pisces, this card's been making the rounds this week. Pisces, we have new moon in Pisces too. So there can be a little bit of a soulmate vibe, but this is also meditate and contemplate. We'll see with the rest of the reading how this comes out in the rest of the reading. But meditate and contemplate, balancing, thinking things through with just vibing with things. We're not overthinking. We're not over feeling, over meditating. We're combining these two wonderful, powerful things, the heart and the head, and working in conjunction with them. What do they say? The mind is a great servant, but a terrible master. This is true. So not overthinking things, but meditating and contemplating, bringing the mind and heart into some kind of cohesive balance. And this could be the beginning of an emotional relationship where you're gonna, overthinking isn't going to be very helpful there either, as with any other place in your life. And, meditate and contemplate. Yeah, the contemplation part, we're going to want to combine that with just vibing, just feeling our way, just silencing the mind. And as we silence the mind, better thoughts often are able to now rise up to the surface all by themselves. So meditation and not silencing, we don't control our minds with meditation, but observing our thoughts can help create more cohesive thoughts, better thoughts. And this is, you got two weirdo cards. You got the, what do you need to release question. It's a question. What do you need to let go of? And nothing will, and don't overthink it. And nothing will come of this situation, void, of course, moon. So I think that is a phase coming up soon, if not here already. I can't remember. I pay some amount of attention to that stuff, but not a whole lot. So void, of course, moon, nothing will come of this situation. There's no, you can almost move any way or do anything or just let the situation pass. You may have a situation, there's no action cards here. There's no time to do something, time to do this, time to do that. There's no action cards here. Meditate, contemplate, and I think if you're dealing with a certain situation, I think this is talking about, just let it pass. Just let it go through, let it go, let it pass, and nothing bad's going to happen. It reminds me, too, of releasing anxiety. Oftentimes that anxiety there is like, if you stop worrying about things, all of these look at the bad things that could happen if you stopped worrying about them. And of course, that's the biggest lie anxiety tells us, is that somehow our anxiety itself is the only thing barring these horrible things from happening. And of course, that's not true at all. It's the opposite of truth. The more relaxed we are as we approach situations, the better we think about things, the more clearer we think them through, the better it goes. and the more actually responsive we can be. This is like the difference between locking your knees and an athletic stance that's ready to move in any direction and ready to respond to anything. So a relaxed mentally athletic stance versus mentally locked knees. And anxiety is there to tell you that the only way you're going to stay standing is if you mentally lock your knees. But so that's what these three cards look like. Is nothing's really coming up that's really big. Maybe let go of something, some anxiety. Don't overthink things. Yeah. All right. For Pisces, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Again, the stunning beauty of these cards shocks me. Okay, choices, unseen situations. A lot of major arcana, which is really funny because these other cards are like, not much, don't worry about it, let it go, just let it pass, don't worry about it. Don't overthink the situation because it's not really, you're not going to be able to do it. It doesn't matter if you overthink it or not. Overthink it, just not. And then in your traditional spread, you have a lot of major arcana. So maybe this was like, you're going to get major arcana, but don't worry about it too much. In the recent past, we've got the World card here. We've got the things, accomplishing things, a completed cycle, a completed rotation. The World card also talks to me about just the larger aspects of the world that we live in, the historical moment that we're in, the weather, all these things about the orbit of the Earth and the axial tilt and all these bigger cosmic cycles going on that we're just along for the ride for, right? But yet they affect our lives and they affect our destiny and what happens to us. So the World card talks to me about larger things going on that are affecting you. It also does talk about completing a cycle, completing that orbit, that rotation. Okay, completing a cycle here. So that's happened in your recent past. You've either been probably both and, because everyone is affected by all of the larger movements outside of our control, both planetary, weather, and politics, and nation states and all that stuff. So being affected by big changes that were out of your control, and also or also completing a cycle, having succeeded in something and having it come to an end. It's the 21st card. So it is the last card. So we start off with the Fool, the 0 card up here, with pure intention coming in, and then we end up with the World card as what's manifested here has been manifested, and it's the end of that cycle. So, so in your current situation, we have 5 of Wands. A contest, a battle of the wills, having to, the 5 of Wands is about conflict to me, and these chess pieces definitely connotate conflict, right? It's a chosen conflict. It's a selected conflict. Is it a violent conflict? No, it's a chess game. So there's a contest of wills, of wits, of wills and of wits here. And that's a typical, I mean, the card looks really different to me, but how it's playing out is pretty typical for the 5 of Wands. So it can be a place of difficulty, severity, consequences, and talking about just, are we following the rules of the game? What are the rules of this contest? So it's a conflict, but it's not like open conflict. It's more of like a strategic conflict, or a battle of the wills, or where are the lines being drawn in the sand, sort of. It's almost like play conflict. it's playing at war. It's playing at a battle, playing at war. And you may be conflicted internally. That's what this card seems to be talking about. But I think this also references external conflicts, usually just words, ideas, priorities, just a lot of conflict going on right now with other people in your life, probably. It could be just internal if you don't have a lot of other people in your life, but there's some sort of conflict. It's like a war game. And then in your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, we have the Lovers. So this is this is the unusual choice. So the Lovers always asks a question, much like what do you need to release? It's always asking a question of how you're going to live your life. Are you going to move towards things that feel really good? Or are you going to accept status quo, accept the norm? And the reason why the Lovers brings this up is because our heart is really kind of a wild little creature and does what it wants to do. It loves what it wants to love, or doesn't love what it doesn't want to. It just is its own thing, right? It doesn't adhere to convention. It doesn't adhere to social norms. It doesn't adhere to what our mind says is a logical, smart thing to do, right? So that's why this question comes up, is because the heart wants something, but there's not a lot of logic to it, or there's an intuitive pull towards something, but it doesn't necessarily make sense or fit into everything. So it raises this question for us that must always be answered, is are we going to move towards that which we love, or are we going to allow the limitations, the expectations, the pro-con list to dominate our life, to dominate our decisions? So this Lovers card brings up a question that you're playing with as far as like, what do I want to move towards? What something might be feeling good, but what are the conflicts around it, and what are the reasons not to go towards that? There probably aren't a lot of really great logical reasons to go towards it, other than that's how we live fulfilling lives. So that's the trump card there. But there's a lot of logic buffering that or buffeting it or creating this question. It wouldn't be a question if there weren't, we would just go towards what we love, but if there weren't all these sort of ramifications and logical reasons why we shouldn't. So the Lovers card is about like something very kindred, something heart of your heart, soul of your soul, something that feels very kindred to you. It could be a job, it could be another person, it could be a lot of different things, right? But it's something that feels very kindred, very much to your soul, but there's a question being raised by it. It's not easy. It's not an easy solution. It's not an easy answer. It's a difficult question because circumstances are coming in. Circumstances, it's not just something we can just flow towards. It kind of is, but there's our mind here. When we're thinking about it, it doesn't make any sense. So this is going on in your inner landscape. Again, we have another question. Again, we have meditate and contemplate, and this also talks about that soulmate energy, or that something that's really resonating. Sniffing around, figuring out what is this thing, being drawn to something that's see how kindred these fish are, and how kindred. She's got feathers on her dress like a bird. He's got an arm like her. They're part of each other, right? But if we overthink it, if we just stick with, if we leave off the meditate and we just go with the contemplate, we won't go with this kindredness or this thing that calls to us. But if we come in with the meditate here and just vibing and feeling it, we could come up with maybe a creative solution or a better answer. So that's what you're thinking about. That's what's on your mind. You could be hoping to meet some sort of kindred, hoping to meet something, or to have that connection, that deep connection. But it's raising all sorts of questions, right? We started this reading with a question, and so the Lovers here especially seems to be telling me it's raising a question. Then we have the Moon card here in the reverse. This is secrets. I feel like it's being dominated by some sort of secret fears or subconscious issues. In the upright, we're figuring out our subconscious issues. We're seeing things. Things are coming to light here, and this monster is within us, but it's also subdued. It's also down there, and we have more. We have more agency over the situation. But this seems to be like this monster's on top. The moon isn't quite being revealed, and so some sort of subconscious issue or secret is dominating the situation. The moon is a very internal card. There's something very subconscious, or it can also be about things that are untamed. Things that are, or suppression of intuition, suppression of subconscious feelings. It seems like there might be suppression of the truth, suppression of feelings in general coming in here, and creating some sort of issue. In your current situation, in your external situation, we have the Sun card. Externally, things look great. There's some sort of happiness. This could be a different part of your story, or a side story, or somebody else is experiencing this happiness, this clarity. Somebody's getting very clear here, very clearly sees what they want, wants to communicate it. There's just this radiant positivity, a healing light, a radiant healing light. And either that's something that you're experiencing right now, or it's somebody in your life that's experiencing this joy and this radiance and this healing, clarity. And I love that, or the situation is having some healing clarity, even though the feelings may be being suppressed. There's something that's healing and clear here. And it's coming right under this World card. I just want to take, like my paper dolls here and do this here. We've got the World card. We've got something orbiting this beautiful healing. So you may have completed a healing cycle. There may be healing that you're orbiting around, and that you can see it. It's there. What would bring you healing, what would bring you joy, is in your environment here. So in your to-do list, and this is not like a to-do list, this is like look for opportunities to embody this energy. Look for ways in which this might bring some clarity or make some sense to your situation. We have King of Pentacles here. So this is the Pentacles are very slow growing, but slow, solid growth. It's bonds, not stocks. And the king is manifesting that, he brings that, he's achieved that, he's mastered that. The slow growth, the bringing something in, and there's a obviously it's King of Pentacles, so we're going to be talking about a financial energy here, a stability. Look at this buck with all these, I forget what they're called. This buck has a lot of experience, been around for a while, probably not about to get shot because he's heard the guns. He knows where to avoid all of that. He's been a while. He's a survivor. He's been around for a while. He's got a solid career, has made a bunch of solid investments, solid choices. So this is you. This is your to-do list, is to embody this King of Pentacles, the slow movement with the overall plan, with the good money management, and solid actions, making some very solid movements. It's coming under this Five of Wands, and I'm trying to understand that real quick here. There's like a conflict here, and your job is to be steady, is to protect what you've earned. Own something. Like, he's not shy about where he's at in life. He's not shy about it. He's like, yeah, these are my coins. These are my horns. This is what I've got here. I've earned this. I've created this world here. So there's a lot of confidence here, and a lot of financial confidence, being comfortable and happy with his decisions, with his discernments, with his careful decision making is really what I'm getting with this King of Pentacles. Careful, thought out, planned decision making. And here again, we have meditate and contemplate. So we have the contemplate. This King of Pentacles is all about contemplation, but it's a slow, steady, it's not a frantic, panicked contemplation. It's a slow, steady growth, and planning out several steps ahead. That's it. That's the we have this Five of Wands here, and now we have this King of Pentacles. This is someone who plays chess several moves ahead. They're not playing checkers, they're playing chess. And that's what you need to be doing is plotting and planning several moves ahead. You're playing chess here. You're not playing checkers. And someone around you may be playing checkers, but you're playing chess. And then we have this meditate and contemplate. So it's combining this feeling towards what you want. So if there's a question here, your path towards it is through well thought out action, through methodical, well thought out movement forward. And where you're going here is this Four of Pentacles. This is getting very focused on work, really. You've got, or isolating in a way where you're focused. So I don't see this as this is a temporary situation where you're just going to focus on your work. You're focusing on something. Something has your focus, and that focus sort of isolates you from maybe others for a time. It's always good to, you know, have a burst of focus where you just can't. You're not going to be able to meet other needs. You're not going to be able to go out with your friends. You're not going to be able to do some of these other things, the fun things, because you have this intense focus, this thing that you need to focus on. And it comes from both love and planning. I feel like, you know, this is a chess game based on what your heart is bringing towards you. So if you want to just forego some of the activities you're supposed to do, this is fine. This is what's coming up for you, is sort of a focused intention. She's really clinging to her house, and she's kind of locked other people out here, clinging to, you know, her earnings, what she's got, what she's earned. And I feel like coming after the King of Pentacles, you're talking about, I mean, both of these have a similar vibe of like, I earned this. I've made a lot of plans. I've made a lot of sacrifices, and there are going to be continued sacrifices for your, sacrifices of time, for your money, something like that. All right. Anything from the Wild Kuan Yin? I feel like there's lots of things that keep trying to come out from the Wild Kuan Yin. I'll take this top one here. Okay, stepping onto your path with some sort of protection. You are one of a kind. Your own path will never be exactly the same as anyone else's. The type of frequency you hold as an individual is as individual as your fingerprints. That uniqueness can never be taken from you, co-opted by another, or compromised in any way. Relish your uniqueness and share it lovingly, freely, joyfully with the world. Well, that's really funny because we kind of have the opposite vibe here. But this seems to be like balancing. This whole reading is about balancing the feelings with the methodical actions, and yeah. So balancing out meditation and contemplation, and yeah, sharing freely while also somehow pursuing your own thing. Okay, well, Pisces, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching.